Um, Welcome everybody. My name is Megan Howie. I'm one of the program directors for United, overseeing both the girls and the boys programs. Katie Terhune is our other program director. She is on as well and will be here to answer any questions, but she is at our uniform try-on location today, so she's in and out a little bit. But I appreciate everybody coming. Today's a day just to be a short meeting, but a chance to ask any questions, overview of any changes for this year. And then at the end of the call, if any of our families are new to United or new to AAU, we wanted just to take some time to talk about the basics of AAU, what to expect with tournaments, and answer any kind of baseline questions you might have. So I'm going to ask that any questions that pop up, just put them in the chat. We will stop and pause about halfway through and answer any of the ones that come up, and then really go from there. So again, thank you all for joining us. I wanted to start with just updates on COVID, where we are with that. We get a lot of questions regarding how we're handling practices, social distancing, all of that. So I think that's a good place to start for today. First, you'll see a majority of our practices, not all of them, but majority of them continue to be offered outside. And that is due to a lot of our public school space is still not rentable. We're unfortunately not in a location with a large facility that has 3+ courts for us to utilize. So we are in the outdoor spaces for another spring. That does present some different challenges to us, which we know weather now becomes a larger factor in the process of having practices. And we wanted to kind of provide an update today about what happens during inclement weather, and just try to improve from the fall season. So the first is practice notifications for outdoor teams will go out on a text. We utilize a process called Call Loop. Call Loop is an automatic text service. It'll come to your phone from a 1-800 number, but it is a text that will say, this is United NJAAU. Practices for today are canceled. So definitely make sure you're getting those. We may send a test one out next week to everyone's phone just to make sure you received it, as well as then email you as well saying the text went out. We plan this year to send them out by 3 o'clock. Last year, we found ourselves wanting to get it out really early, and we canceled some practices that probably could have been held because the weather changes quite a bit. And we felt like we wanted to set a time this year. So this year, the time you will hear by is 3 o'clock, which should give everybody enough time, hopefully, to be able to modify plans for that day. With regards to policies and COVID, we are following the CDC guidelines. So we ask that any families that have had players that come in close contact or family members that come in close contact to please reach out to us. You should be notifying us. We can work with you on our policies. If you need to take a step away from United, if we need a negative test, how long those quarantines last. But overall, we are just following what the CDC and New Jersey CDC has. So I know I've gotten a lot of questions about spring break and our families going away. And really, we just ask that whatever is the New Jersey travel notifications at the time are what's followed. You can let your coach know if you're missing because you have to isolate after a vacation or anything like that. But with regards to close contact, I think we get the most questions with that. And again, that's really just based on what's out there in the CDC. If you would like to speak to us about that, that's fine. And if there's ever a positive test, we absolutely have to be notified. So we like to send those out to families that might have also been in our program. We get them from teams we play. We will share them with you in a health advisory email, as well as contact anyone via phone if it's an emergency situation. The other piece with COVID is our spectators at gyms. Because we attend tournaments in both New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all over the place. Some of our teams are traveling farther distances. We ask that parents look at, and we generally get an email or it's on the tournament website about the policy with spectators at gyms. We've tried to select tournaments that we know are allowing spectators, as I know that's something that we all want. But it's good for parents to look ahead of time at the tournament website, contact your coach, see if they've gotten any information just to verify what that spectator policy is. We've seen anything from 2 parents or only 2 guardians allowed, to 1, to none. Hopefully that's loosening up. And again, we see a lot more, less restrictions with that. But I do think that's something for parents just to have on their mind, to take a look at the week before, depending on where the pandemic goes in the next few months. All of our policies for COVID are on our website as well. So if you wanted to review those or had any questions, that would be great. Some questions we also do get asked, our players will not be masked at practice unless they prefer to be masked, but we are not mandating everyone to be masked for practices. We ask our coaches to remain masked for practices. So that is something that some questions we've gotten. We ask that parents, especially in the outdoor space that do attend practices, if you are not vaccinated, again, we're just following CDC guidelines, and you do want to stay, please, you're more than welcome to stay at practices. Lawn chairs, bring your lawn chair, try and stay off the court as much as possible. There's a lot of great grass around a lot of our locations. And if you're not vaccinated, to wear a mask. If you are, again, CDC guidelines, I think, are updating to say that you no longer need that. So we just ask again to follow those guidelines as we move through this spring. Okay, some of our practices, again, updates because of COVID, is anybody that's practicing at an outdoor location this spring has to provide their own basketball. In years past, and anybody at an indoor location, which there are not many, but some, we are providing basketballs to your son or daughter. We plan to go back to that policy moving forward, but because all of our balls we have purchased for our program are indoor, that means that we do need outdoor balls provided by players. Please mark your son or daughter's ball with their name on it so that at the end of the night, it's very identifiable whose ball is whose when we go to the outdoor practices. Our boys director, I just wanted to let you know, for our boys side is Kyle Just. So Kyle Just is our staff member who oversees a lot of the different planning, coach hiring, practice quality control, and a variety of things for our boys side. He is K through 12. On our girls side, fifth grade through 12th. On our girls side, fifth grade through eighth grade is Ralph Giordano. And on our girls side, our high school director is Jimmy Ostaszewski. So those are your line of contacts. If you have issues, if you have feedback, if you wanted to chat about anything, you can go to those coaches. Their information is on our website. To chat about anything as the season progresses. But we just wanted to let you know those staff members. We wanted to hit a little bit on culture. I know there is a lot of information that's been sent to you in our welcome email, including a lot of our cultural pieces and PowerPoints. But I think some of the most important pieces that every year we like to stress is really the goals and the variety of successful outcomes for our teams and how we measure success. The first and foremost is player development. We are not a win at all costs program. We are much more of let's get better from the beginning of a season to the end of the season, holistically as a team and individually in individual skill sets. So for our fifth through our eighth grade, that is a big focus for us. That's our main focus, is how much player development are we playing competitive teams to push development. Sometimes that means we get beat up a little bit, but for us, that's okay. As long as we're able to, again, utilize that experience and those times and those weekends to find the right level of competition to push development, as well as practices that are geared towards player development. For our high school, it remains player development with a focus on exposure. I'm the director of our college pursuit program, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But for our high school families on the call today, we do have a call Monday night. It is our college pursuit program. I do encourage you to attend if you're new to our program. If you're not, there's a lot of updates for COVID this year on the college front. And that's one of our services we offer, is that program, which I think is really important to at least be aware of. If your son or daughter is a freshman and you're not sure, it's great just to hear the information and be able to go from there. So that's, two of the big things of our culture. I do ask all families to review our cultural deck as well as our parent agreement form. If you have questions for your coach, if you have, things that you want to discuss, we always ask parents never to approach a coach at a tournament after a practice, but to set up a meeting. Your director will also be in attendance. That's really important to us as we move through the season and support both player development and our coaches being able to coach at the best of their ability. I want to highlight quick some of our new features, things that are different this year for our returning families. Last year, we really got feedback that one of the areas of improvement for United was a training program, that we needed to offer other opportunities for our athletes to train, given that we only practice twice a week. Tournaments are right around 6 to 10 per season. So we've started, and we actually secured a training facility in Lebanon, New Jersey. It is a small church facility. It's not a regulation court, but it really does serve its purpose for what we're looking for. This will also be enacted this fall or the spring. So if you're interested in extra training, individual, small group, Ralph Giordano and Justin Matisak run that program. We've offered it for United players only. This is not something for exterior players, and it's at a really reduced rate at what you would find for other trainers across New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or where you live. For individual lesson, it's only $30. For a small group, it's $20 an hour. So it's very doable if you're looking for more than just the practices and the team practices. An email will be going out about that. You can schedule as early as next week. They have openings. We have free range of the facility. So we have Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday space. So there's a lot of flexibility with that. And I just wanted to make sure all families were aware of that. The next piece is social media. Social media, as we know, I'm a college coach myself, continues to be a big piece of where news is being consumed, where college recruiting is happening, where exposure is happening, and it's happening at a younger and younger age. So what we wanted to do this year is offer a social media template program. I'm going to share my screen and show what that looks like for this year. We have created about 6 templates for our players to be able to modify on their own, to be able to use on their social media outlets, whether that's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Parents can use it. Really, anybody has the capability of using it that's interested in that. Let me know if you can see my screen. Let's see if it's popping up. Okay, so this is the document that will go out next week. This is the sheet that basically summarizes the program. Canva is a free app. It's a free website, desktop supported application that you can make an account on. Once you make the account, you can then email me and I will share with you these templates below. These are some of the examples we have all the way down here. Some are going to be geared towards our 5th through 8th grade. Others are going to be geared towards our high school athletes, but these are already pre-made templates that I will share with your account, where you can then go in, add your son or daughter's photo, add their information, their schedule, their Twitter handle, possibly their Instagram info, take out what you don't want, and then you can post it to your social media accounts, parents as well as players, and tag our different Twitters, Instagrams, and Facebooks to gain exposure. For our high school kids, this is really crucial to organize your social media as you wish. For our younger kids, we just see more and more interest in it, so we wanted to offer it for them as well. But again, this is something new. It'll be emailed. It's also on our information page, so you'll be able to access it there. But I wanted just to talk about that quickly. We also will be launching a new separate boys Twitter. So we are going to be separating our girls and our boys Twitter this upcoming season. So that announcement will come out probably tomorrow on Twitter. So for our boys, players, parents, and coaches, please follow that. But that'll be a separate entity at this point moving forward to increase exposure among our college coaches that do follow us. I'm going to turn to uniforms, rosters. I see some questions in the chat already being answered by Katie, but just some overview items, and then I'm going to open it for Q&A. Our first is uniforms. So uniforms numbers, your assigned player number is on the website. Uniforms are due by midnight on Sunday night, the order. These are a repeat uniform. We work really hard to try to maintain the same uniform over time. So that's not an increased cost. And so we were lucky this spring, we are in a repeat uniform. So if you've played in the past, you just need to look at the deadlines and timelines of when that uniform actually went into existence in order to go from there. The shooting shirt is from any prior season. The backpack is from any prior season. And the jersey, like I said, and the shorts numbers are on the website. Rosters for your team will be posted next weekend. So that'll be up on our website. Your rosters will be there. Your coaches should be reaching out by mid next week with a welcome email. They've all received or are receiving their rosters for their teams just to say hello. Make sure you have their contact information, cell phone, email, and everything from there. Two other things, the conflict form. There is a conflict form on the backside of our website that you'll see. One of your to-do items is to list any conflicts that you do have with the current schedule, practices, or tournaments. We really use the conflict form only for the first, I'd say up until your first week of practices. That's a way for coaches to organize, to see, is there any main issues with a tournament? Is there kids missing here or there? We never want families to arrive at a tournament and not know who's there. That's really, unacceptable with our, how we stay organized and how we ask for communication from our parents. So submit any conflicts you have up until that date. If things come up, we realize family emergencies come up, things happen, we then ask you to contact your coach directly. So that conflict form should really only be used up until the start of practices as you look at what your children are also managing in their lives and what other conflicts might be. My last piece is just, again, a reminder, the college meeting is on Monday night, where we'll go into a much deeper dive in the College Pursuit program and talk about our offerings there and how we do what we do and our beliefs. I'm going to leave it open now for Q&A. I do see quite a bit in here, but I think Katie's answered all of them. If anybody wants to unmute, has a question that I can answer, let's do so now.
Yeah, hi, I have a question on the uniform, and I realized that the smallest size is the youth large. My son's on the smaller side, especially with the shorts. I'm just worried that it's not going to be feasible for him to wear and practice with it. Is there nothing else that has been done in the past or can be done to accommodate? Yes. Thanks.
So unfortunately, that's the smallest size offered. What we've had done in the past, and this would be individual families taking it to a tailor to see if it could be tailored to a smaller size on the short. So that's what we recommend. Unfortunately, that is all what Nike, the lowest that we can get in that stock right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? Any other things we haven't answered?
I'm sorry, this is probably a really ignorant question, but can you confirm the right basketball size for 5th grade boys?
Yep, 5th grade boys actually play with a 28.5. So that is a traditional, what would be considered a female ball, is for 5th grade boys.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Another question for me is, where's the practice going to be held? Is there an address?
Yes, so I'm going to screen share my screen. And at this point, if there's no other questions also, I'm going to ask that anybody new to AAU or have some of these logistical questions can stay on. Anybody that's good to go and knows repeat United returner can probably sign off. I'm going to do a kind of a walkthrough of our website for anybody new to United and share my screen. So I'm going to start that now. Okay. 1 second. Okay. 1 second. I think I shared the wrong thing. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen right here. For all those that may be new to United, the easiest way to get around in our United page is clicking obviously United, then information. On the information page, you have been emailed a link in your invite that has a lot of information that's on a non-public website. So that link is crucial for you to access. There is no public access off of here for that. And that has the tournament schedule, the fees, that has a lot of stuff that's private, which again is should be in a link I can send to you. You can email me, Megan at 100 Hoops, but it is in your email. It's the season information link that came out in your invite. However, on this page is the calendar, which is a second one down here. Once you click calendar, this is the practice calendar. So this is really where you need to keep your eyes on, because sometimes locations change. So if right now we're on it and I look for 7th grade girls, Coach Veers, you can see I'm hovering over it. You need to find your age group, your coach's last name, click on it, and then it'll have the time. So they're 5 to 6:30 and they're at Lenape Park, and that's the address. So this will remain updated. So you can go each night and just verify. We ask that, prior to the week, you make sure the time's correct, the location's correct. We only have a few teams that are modifying and going back and forth with some times. I believe the 8th grade girls, Sam is early one night and goes late, I think, for a few weeks. Yep. She goes late on Thursday nights. So there's a few that are a little bit different, but I encourage everyone to basically, this is updated, go through each month, and you'll see this month is now loaded with a lot more and locates all of where your practices are. Does that answer your question on practices?
Yes, thank you.
Great. Also on this page here, again, if you go to information, if you're new to Unite, if you're new to AAU and you need to know where your game schedule is, this link down here, practice and tentative game schedules, you would click into, and here are the schedules for all of our teams. You could easily just grab and put in Google the name of the tournament, and the tournament website will come up. And that we also, for those that are new to AAU, might say, well, Meg, do we know when game times are for this April tournament? Or do I know when, I need to organize my weekend? I need to know when these times are. What happens with AAU is every tournament is scheduled by that program that's running it. And they generally release the tournament times right around Wednesday or Thursday, the night before the tournament. Tournaments are organized differently sometimes in the boys and the girls. Sometimes the boys are 2 games on Saturday with a guaranteed game on Sunday and maybe an advancement game if you win all 3 Sunday afternoon. So there's a little bit of unknown piece more on the boys side than the girls with how those tournaments are organized. The girls side tends to be more of 2 games Saturday, definitely 2 games Sunday, no championship. It's just 4 set games. So I think for families, it's a good idea to know that you can just find the website of the tournament. Your coach should be able to help. If you're a seasoned returner and you want to be that team mom or dad for your coaches, that's always helpful to send out the tournament times when you see them come up. I also caution everyone that occasionally teams drop out last minute. We've really tried to go to good tournaments. I think we have great tournaments run by good directors that don't do that, or they notify the coach saying, hey, your Saturday game's changed. But it's always good for parents to know, check back before on Saturday morning or late Friday night and make sure your game times have not changed. There is an app that is being used very heavily in all of our younger teams, mostly. It's Exposure Tournaments app, which I encourage everyone to download. It's an app that really has a majority of these tournaments will use, and you'll be able to follow your team, and it'll have the game times pop out on it. I'm going to have all coaches email it out to you as well. But if you're on your app store, if you're new to AAU, I encourage you to get that and see which tournaments are being loaded onto that app, because it makes it extremely easy for you to follow and see when your game times are. But for the ones that aren't in the app, their schedules just come out on their website. Let me go back again, just going back to the information page where you can find everything. Your staff bios are here. Everything's really located on this page here. Rosters, if you scroll, let me look where rosters are. If you go to the front page of United, so go back to United NJ Basketball, and rosters is in its own tab up top. So you could click rosters. You can see boys and girls rosters here. They're not yet loaded. That's where they will be posted. The training tab is our training program I mentioned, the small group lessons with Ralph and Justin here, as well as how to sign up and the different information there. So those are things I just wanted to walk through. Does anybody have questions that might be new to AAU or might be new to United, where to find something, anything really that you're thinking of that I can answer today?
Hi, yeah, I'm new to the program, and my question was just more on insurance. Is that mandatory, or if you have insurance already, you don't need to, or how does that work?
So the AAU insurance, which is the one that's a mandatory item, is mandatory. And that's because even if you have private health insurance, it's most of the tournaments that we attend want to verify that all of our players are covered under the AAU insurance. That is your first line of insurance in the event that anybody gets injured at a tournament. The tournament, say there was an overage of costs, not all the deductibles were covered for an injury. We will utilize that AAU insurance first, but prior to our primary insurance policy that we have for United. So that is a mandatory item. It's yearly. You only have to buy it one time per year. So if you've purchased it and played in our fall or our winter, you are still good. It's covered for one time per year on an annual basis.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Also with the insurance, if you've played for a different club that did require it, you can just change the code and it can be associated with our club. So you've said, I played for a different club in the fall. That's no problem. You just need to contact AAU and update it with our club code, which should be in the instructions as well on the United information page. Okay, so I'm just going to answer some things I see in the questions here. Okay, let's go down. Game times, like I said, advancement is based on the tournament. I would say Wednesday is pretty standard. Wednesday or Thursday, the week before, you will get your game times. Practice schedule for high school girls is posted, so it's on that calendar page, is posted on there. The high school girls do attend some early tournaments, so they might be picking up or trying to, because they go right in early April. But your coach will be in touch with that, with you regarding that. I have some questions on hotels. So this year with COVID, none of the tournaments that we've selected to attend are stay to play. That's something that has been in the past. This year, you would be organizing your own hotel rooms, just because many families, one, might not want to travel to stay over in hotels, or two, might have specific qualifications that they're looking for in a hotel. So this is one of the years we are not doing hotel blocks. So that would be something that you would do, or you could talk to your coach about coordinating as a team. Anything else?
Megan, can I ask a question about the hotels and the tournaments?
Sure.
I guess it's probably more about the tournaments, because I know we started browsing a little bit, and for some of the tournaments, there's a choice, like maybe it's this or that, which I totally understand with COVID and stuff, things are probably not set yet.
Mm-hmm.
So when we see this tournament or this one or that one, is that because we're waiting to find out about COVID? Is that because different teams may go to different tournaments? Like, what is that going to look like as we move forward?
Gotcha. So for the high school girls teams, we've listed one or the other down because, and I'll cover this Monday on our college meeting.
Okay.
The NCAA is in current influx. There is a current dead period. They've changed what the spring live weekends are looking like. We now have a dead period till May 31st, which really impacts the tournaments that we select to go to. So one of the reasons we didn't commit to those later ones is because we really have to see what the NCAA is going to do. It wouldn't make sense for us possibly to travel all the way to Chicago if that's not a live period. It's just it would be way too much money. We could get something better closer to home if college coaches aren't going to be there anyway. So those are decisions that the team and the coaches are going to have to be making, but it's just a different year with trying to basically hold off and say, let's just see what the NCAA does to make sure we enter the right tournament, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. I figured it was something like that because we were kind of taking a strategy of maybe booking hotels with free cancellation at each of them. Because like if you look at Louisville today, for example, the hotel we stayed at 2 years ago only had one room left already.
Yep.
So I was thinking we might want to be proactive and book some and then just cancel them, based on what happens.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I think we can talk about that I'll probably talk about that at the college meeting on Monday, as will Jimmy. I know he plans to join us. So yeah, I think that's a great strategy. It's just a really unique, weird year. And I think we're going to have to do things like that to get ahead and see, fingers are crossed it opens up, but there's just no telling, I think they still have to get through this NCAA tournament and see what life looks like a little bit for the NCAA.
Right. No, I figured that. Thanks for clarifying, Megan.
Sure. Anybody else? Any other questions you have?
I've got one. It's Joel Logan's my son in the 7th grade team.
Yes.
We're brand new. So do we need to physically go to the store today to buy a uniform? Can we do everything online?
You can do everything online. So on the website, when you click information, there's a side where I showed you the calendar. If you go down a little farther, it's uniform store.
Okay.
You can do, if you don't feel, you don't kind of know his sizing. Yep, you can do that all right there. And again, the key to it is it's going to ask you to input his number. There is a PDF on the website that shows every team and the number that he's been assigned. So just put in the number that he's been assigned. I think that's one of the things just to know is because we have returners who we put their number because we don't want them to have to order a New Jersey. So we kind of it's just figuring out what returners are on what teams, what numbers are open, and then go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anything else? All right. Well, I'm going to hang on here for a little bit. If anybody did have something that they wanted to ask, for all of our high school parents, I will see us Monday night. And to everybody else, I'll see you at practices as we go. And thank you for spending time with us today.
That's okay, those last two classes.
Hey, Meg, just another question for me. I know you said that the conflict form was probably for the first week. I think my son might have a conflict on Thursdays
Okay.
till the CC does a separate program at school.
Sure.
And might just be the first 2 weeks because I know practice starts in April.
Yeah, you could just put it in as an anticipated conflict. So just fill the form out, say there may be a conflict with these Thursdays. And your coach will see that. And then you can update them later on if there's no conflict. It's just more just so the coaches kind of can plan to see who's at practice and if there's any, major issues with attendance. But you can go ahead on and just fill it in as anticipated. You could also go on then later and say, no conflict. We just try to organize it so coaches can really get a sense of, are there any major tournament conflicts is the biggest thing. So.
Got it. And just because I'm new, I wanted to just verify that there's a form that we had to sign, things to do this weekend. There's a form or an agreement, I guess, that we had to sign and send. There's the apparel that needs to be purchased, and there's insurance that needs to be purchased. And then finally a conflict form. That's it. That's all of it.
Yep, that's all of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Dina. My son Josh is new also this season for 7th grade boys. So the enrollment form, was that sent out yet? I don't recall seeing that, and I know that that's due as well.
That's
Enrollment agreement?
Yep, let me try. Katie, are you on? I'm gonna put that in the message then if Katie might be seeing, she sends those, so.
Okay.
Let me just put that in the chat and you should.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
Okay, so she said if she didn't receive it, you can email Katie at 100 and Hoops. Maybe there was a glitch with the email or something.
Okay, will do, thank you.
Megan,
Yes.
do uniforms tend to run true to size, or do they tend to run large or small?
I would say that on the boys, they're true to size. On the
girls?
And the shorts tend to be a little bit bigger.
For the girls?
Sorry, for the girls?
Yes, on the girls' side, the shorts tend to be a little bit larger. They're longer inseam, so a lot of our girls feel like maybe they ordered a medium, they should have gotten a small, but that's generally the feedback we get.
And the jerseys are true to size?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, how are you? So my daughter's new, and of course, I am really lost when it comes to stuff like this with the traveling and stuff. Have parents with, especially with COVID, I know it's a little bit more difficult, but with the traveling to other states, has there ever been a situation where a child could go, but the parents weren't able to go or anything like that?
Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, to be honest, one of the things that we like with our, trying our coaches to try to do with who's comfortable is to have a parent meeting in person. That would be ideal, but you should be on an email list and you might know other families on the team. But I think to make relationships for situations like that, you could ask your coach, hey, I can't go. I need my son or daughter to get there. Is there another family that is available? But if you are able to forge those relationships, a lot of our families end up helping each other out for situations like that. Our coaches are not able to drive our players. That's one of our liability and concerns and we're not able to do that. But I think that they could also help network you with another family to help if you're in a situation like that.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Hi, Meg.
Yes.
Who do we email again if we didn't receive that email form?
The enrollment form, you can email Katie, Katie at 100andhoops.com. A lot of times it might get caught in spam. It might have just, been an issue like that.
Okay.
Doesn't go through, or maybe the email's wrong. So if you email her just saying I didn't get the enrollment form, she'll get that out to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coach, will we also be getting an email from our specific coach with the specific need to our group?
Yes. So we've asked all coaches for the the younger boys that tried out 2 weekends ago, that should be coming like ASAP. But for the high school girls who just were still finishing up, those will be coming probably this upcoming week.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hey, Meg, I got one more question.
Yeah.
You might have the answer or might tell me to go somewhere else. My daughter's been numbered 00 for the last couple seasons.
Okay.
And when I filled out the form originally, I put in, it only let me do 0. And I put in the notes that she's been 00. Can she keep that number?
I'm pretty sure she can keep it. Yeah. I think
Okay.
that if we're not you're not buying a new uniform, or are you buying a new?
I think she may be buying a new uniform.
Okay, then if that's the case, I would just email, Katie just responded. She manually goes through the 0 numbers. Our system doesn't allow 00, so she'll manually change it. So I think she saw it. So you're in.
Okay, so leave it at that. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, perhaps I am missing it, but Katie just tried to tell me how to find my son's jersey number.
Okay.
Can you show me on the website? I don't know, I must be losing and I can't find it.
Let me see, make sure I can find it. Yeah, I think I can do this
I
here.
probably did something wrong, but
Are you able to see the chat? If you
Yeah.
click that, okay, she just put the link.
okay.
And it opened on my laptop. It's a big PDF with last names.
Okay, hold on.
And it's at the top of our store. So I can actually, if that doesn't work, I can show screen share, which I'll just do anyway. I'm going to screen share and show where you can find it. You should be able to see my screen now.
Wait, I don't know if I'm seeing yours or I just opened mine. Okay, go.
Yeah, I think you see mine. And then if you go down to uniform store, I click on that toolbar.
Yeah.
It'll open up. And up here, jersey numbers, click here to view assigned jersey numbers. It's
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I was clicking on the left. I don't know.
So then you'll see it's by player name, and that's the numbers that you're assigned.
All
Yep.
right, thanks.
Sure.
Nobody said I was the brightest bulb. Okay, thank you.
That's okay. Sometimes that one's hard to find, so.
Coach, another question. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just thought about this the other day. So for a current junior who's playing spring AAU,
Yep.
okay, and then obviously in the fall, there'll be seniors. They're no longer eligible then for that fall season, correct?
That's not necessarily true. Last
Okay.
year, it's going to really depend on what happens with these live events
Okay.
and what the college exposure landscape looks like.
Okay.
So, for instance, COVID's changed so much with recruiting in colleges that if there is a reason for that, it would benefit our juniors to continue to play, which honestly, it probably, if we're going on this path of continuing to increase the blackout periods,
Mhm.
I could see it being in our best interest to have all of our juniors play in the fall. So, who would be then seniors?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that on the call on Monday, but I think that we're going to most likely be in a position where especially if COVID gets better and we all of a sudden see a shift with the fall having these live periods that we never have had before, we'll make sure that that's offered to those seniors, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, this may be a dumb question, but I get a lot of email from AAU now that I've signed up. All the stuff for United would definitely come from say United in it, right? I don't want to
Yeah, that's one of
get confused.
Yeah, it's one of the negatives when you sign up for AAU is they're going to bombard you with stuff, which again it's also going to happen if you have a high school player and you go through the NCAA system of signing them up, which you have to do so that they become visible to college coaches in the different at the different tournaments that you'll get quite a bit of spam. So you could mark it as spam. Once everything that we send will come from info@100andhoops or info@United Basketball, or my email is Megan@100andhoops. So make sure you don't block those, but you can consider doing that to the other ones.
Thank you.
And that AAU insurance, do we need to send that to our coach with the confirmation, or do you have access to that?
You will have access. So once
Okay,
you
perfect.
purchase it, you put our club code, we go in next week and we can check. We go team by team and make sure everybody's on ours.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. We're going to hang on here for another about 15 minutes. If anybody has things, that's what we're here for. If not, you can sign off. That's fine.